What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sam Adams here, and tonight we're going to be talking about EA's first-person shooter release plan for the next 2 years. Basically, what I mean by this is that last week, EA kind of announced when they're going to be vaguely releasing most of their major franchises over the next 2 years, and it showed some interesting innovation and a welcome change in the gaming industry. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I went ahead and made you guys this infographic timeline just to make what I'm about to say as perfectly clear as possible. You guys can go ahead and take a look at that here. But in October 2013, we had the release of Battlefield 4. I thought this was important to include on the timeline just because it's still really popular today and it's going to shape the next couple of years as far as EA's bottom line goes. And then on March 17th of next year, we have Battlefield Hardline, followed by a holiday 2015 release of Star Wars Battlefront 3, which is a highly anticipated Star Wars first-person shooter. And finally, definitively, we have in fall 2016 the new Battlefield, whether that be Battlefield 5 or Battlefield Bad Company 3, we aren't really sure. And then I noticed that there was a distinctive gap between holiday 2015 and fall 2016, so I went ahead and penciled in Mirror's Edge 2 for spring 2016, since we heard from it at that one E3, and we haven't really seen much of it since then, but I figure EA might be holding out for a real official release of that game for spring 2016. So this pretty much surprised a lot of people because Battlefield was showing a trend of being on a bi-yearly release schedule, which was working out fairly well, but obviously that theory is completely thrown out the window. Yearly releases have been becoming a more prominent happening in the gaming industry. You've got Madden, you've got FIFA, you've got the NBA games, and more recently Call of Duty has become a yearly release title. Unfortunately, it was never really announced to be, but it just kind of edged into that, and now actually Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, before it was released, was sometimes referred to as Call of Duty 2014, and that's not something that we want to see in the gaming industry. Yearly releases are good for revenue for companies. Let's just get that out of the way. If you release a game every year, you're going to get devoted players playing your games, and then you're also going to get those casual gamers that just want to get the newest Call of Duty. And although your game doesn't show much innovation, it will sell just because it's a big name title. This can be applied to Madden, NBA, any of the franchises that I just mentioned a minute ago. Mainly the only reason people buy these is because they bought last year's game and they want updated rosters, or in Call of Duty's case, updated guns and slightly different maps. Unfortunately, these yearly releases are pretty bad for quality. Madden seems to either stay at the same rate of quality or degrade slightly over time. Every 4 years an innovation will come around that will completely change the way the game plays, and this is pretty much applied to Call of Duty. Basically, we've been getting the same experience over and over again since Modern Warfare 3, but Advanced Warfare just came out, and it's a little bit too early to see if that will break the trend. It seems like it's got a little bit of innovation, so if I had to guess, I would say that this is one of the games that is showing some innovation. But as far as a yearly release for the Call of Duty franchise normally goes, as just an example, it doesn't really show much change as compared to the past. In fact, sometimes the quality degrades, as we saw in Call of Duty Ghosts. But back to Battlefield. Last week, I'm going to go ahead and read this. EA's Andrew Wilson said, "As a result of the extended services and content updates that we, EA, provide, it's clear that players want to experience games we're delivering for longer periods of time. Looking into next year, we will ensure that our players have enough time between releases to fully explore the depth and innovation of our shooter titles." Thank goodness someone over at EA finally realized that if you release a game every few years, whether that be 3 or 4 or 5, you're going to get more people playing over an extended period of time, and therefore not only will players get to experience the game your developers worked so hard on for a long period of time, you're also going to make more money over an extended period of time. This is especially good for premium editions of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield games in general. If you aren't aware, the premium editions include all of the DLC. If someone picks this up halfway through the game's life cycle, not only will they be supporting the company and also supporting the developers, but it will also continue to grow the community over a span of time. This is exactly what we've seen with Counter-Strike. Almost every Counter-Strike game is still played competitively, and that's definitely something that's impressive because Global Offensive is over 10 years old. More companies should definitely take note of what EA is doing. It basically gives off the impression that the company is more concerned about giving quality entertainment and an experience more so than just getting your money on a yearly basis. This is really cool because in an industry where microtransactions and DLC are becoming more and more prevalent and companies just seem to be squeezing and just wringing out our wallets for every penny that they can get, EA is finally stepping up to the game and saying, hey, let's go ahead and let these guys experience the games that we make to their fullest potential. And not only are we getting a better experience out of it, I know that if I was on the development team of Battlefront 3 and I knew that this game was going to be popular for 3 or 4 plus years, not only would I try harder, that final payout, not necessarily monetary, but the emotional payout of making a successful game that people are going to love for years would just be a lot more fulfilling of an experience than, say, if I worked on Call of Duty Ghost. It was popular for about 2 months and then people just dropped it. It just seems like this is going to be a better experience for people in general and all around. So there you guys have it. It is shaping up to be a beautiful 2 years as far as EA and DICE go. These look to be some really good games. Mirror's Edge 2 also brings a lot to the table, even though it's not considered a first-person shooter, even though it's sort of in first person. Anyways, it looks to be a really good game. Battlefield Hardline seems to show a new twist on the Battlefield series. And then you've got Battlefront 3, which of course, if you're a Star Wars fan or a first-person shooter fan, this is a long-awaited sequel to an amazing game that came out back in the day. And of course, we've got a little bit of mystery with the next Battlefield, but that's 2 years off. We'll go ahead and focus on that whenever we get to it. Each of these games will respectively have their own video or videos over the next few years, so I'm not going to get that deep into them today. So again, there you guys have it. If you like this video, drop me a like down below. Comment what you think about EA's new release schedule over the next 2 years and what game you're looking forward to the most. I know personally for me it's probably going to have to be Battlefront 3 just because I was such a huge fan of Battlefront 2 whenever I was playing it on my good old PlayStation 2. And if you get a second, head over to my channel and check out some of my other content. I tend to post a lot of videos and I almost guarantee that there is something else you will find entertaining on there. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.